one of the simplest, clearest maps we can show you, available online from the U.S. government. Let's start off right here. This, in light beige, is Israel. This section right here is Gaza, just twice the size of Washington, D.C., very small area.
منشأة. على أي حال النيران تشتعل، وبالتأكيد هناك صعوبة كبيرة، وقد يكون ضربا من ضروب المستحيل أن يصل له.
60 airstrikes pounded the strip overnight as ground fighting creeps closer to Gaza City. Meanwhile, Hamas rockets continue to be fired into southern Israel. Well, the New York-based pressure group Human Rights Watch has accused the Israeli military of using white phosphorus munitions. They're extremely flammable and prohibited in densely populated civilian areas. Israel denies it's breaking international humanitarian law.
Israeli troops are pushing deeper into Gaza's most densely populated area. The conflict has so far been mostly confined to the outskirts of Gaza City, but that seems to be changing. Overnight, warplanes pounded neighbourhoods from the southeast to the northwest. Flares marked out targets for long-range artillery fire. Meanwhile, infantry units and tanks moved in from the south and the east. Hamas militants responded with anti-tank missiles and mortar bombs.
In the middle of all of this is a civilian population who inevitably are going to get caught up in the crossfire and have nowhere to flee.
All right, well, thank you very much for now. Annette Young reporting from Jerusalem.
Medics have reported several deaths and dozens wounded.
Well, the New York-based pressure group Human Rights Watch has accused the Israeli military of using white phosphorus munitions. They're extremely flammable and are said to have caused much more undue suffering to the civilian population. Israel's army, though, denies they're using it, or that they're breaking international humanitarian law. Well, here's Mark Galasco of Human Rights Watch.
I can't get into Gaza, but I've been on the border now for the last few days watching as the Israeli artillery are firing white phosphorus over into the refugee camps. It's quite clear as the artillery shells explode in midair and the white phosphorus tendrils go down and light fires on the ground. And also as you walk by the artillery units, you can see them handling and putting fuses on white phosphorus charges. So it's very clear to us that that's what they're using, even though they're denying it. Well, the artillery shells that they're using are American manufacture. They have 116 white phosphorus pieces inside of them. They explode in midair and cover an area approximately 250 meters in diameter with these 116 flaming pieces. Will come down. Anything they touch will go on fire. It'll cause 2nd to 3rd degree burns on human skin. It will go through glass. It will light wood, any structure that goes there that is in the area. So it's quite dangerous to the civilian population, and we're calling on Israel to cease using this in civilian areas because of the grave danger that it presents to civilians.
We are asking for, first, an immediate ceasefire, because this is neither an equal battle nor a crossfire battle. Second, the immediate withdrawal of enemy forces from Gaza. Third, lifting the siege of Gaza. This siege has been behind the explosion in the region for a year.
This has been a very difficult night. We've talked to some of the residents there through the night. They've said that they have hardly slept with all of the gunfire, the sound of the rockets, the sound of the warplanes. A very difficult night for them. For the Israelis, somewhat of a relief, because, and there you see again a shot of this is what we believe to be the front lines in the northern Gaza Strip. I was going to say that in Israel, a spokesman for the government said the number of rockets fired into Israel dropped off sharply after this ground assault began. In the streets in mass protests. This was the scene in European capitals, including Paris. Saturday, they carried signs and hoisted Palestinian flags in the streets. Protesters also rallied in Berlin and in Rome. Demonstrators carried flags and banners in support of the Palestinians. And the call for an end to the Israeli occupation and operation could also be heard in the streets of London. That's where we find our own Lonzo Cook.
Every single day, as soon as we turn on the TV, we see children there dying in hospital, the adults dying there, children dying on the floor. Why do children have to die? Why do innocent children have to die on the floor? Why?
I feel really strongly about what's going on in the Middle East. I think it's terrible that so many people are dying in Gaza. I understand that I don't condone what Hamas is doing in Israel, but I think that Israel is reacting in a terrible way, a disproportionate way.
Musician Annie Lennox.
And I, as a mother, as a human being, as a humanitarian, dread to think what kind of images we are going to see from now on.
Free Palestine!
The crowd enthusiastic throughout. The event was peaceful.
حجم المظاهرة كان بحجم الغضب والتنديد بما وصف هنا